toxic masculinity. What is toxic masculinity? And can femininity be toxic? These definitions and these coined terms need to be thrown in the garbage right away. And the reason why is because when considering toxic masculinity and these certain topics, right? This is one conversation, I found this out through having a conversation with one of my very good friends who actually is very into this type of stuff, right? When people talk about things like toxic masculinity, they are not, it's a made up term. Toxic masculinity is a made up term. It's not real. It does not exist. It's garbage. Because what people usually do with toxic masculinity, right? In order for you to understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to understand that masculinity is something that has many different attributes. It's multi-dimensional. It has different levels to it. So violence, for example, right? People would consider that as something toxic. They take violence and they separate it from masculinity in all of its contexts and isolate it, and then they attack it and they label it with toxic masculinity. So I'm going to show you guys a diagram of what I've seen, right? Of toxic masculinity and how it's effectively made up and it's fed to you, like it's just fed to you, and it's how it's BS. So you look, is masculinity toxic, right? It says, okay, well, toxic, first we got one definition. Toxic masculinity involves cultural pressures for men to behave in a certain way. And it's like, okay, that's really all you need to really get, right? Which, to act in a certain way, okay, when at first glance, it makes sense. It sounds like it makes sense, right? But it's BS, and I'll show you why. So you look at toxic masculinity right here, right? And different elements. Because I'm going to keep it real. Masculinity can never be toxic. Masculinity is a good thing. Now, there's multiple ways and dimensions as well as describing what you can interpret, what can be interpreted as toxic masculinity. So we'll look at this first dimension, right? So never be a victim, right? Completely BS, right? Be a man. Violence. Suppressed emotions. Initiations. Emasculation. My pronunciation, right? Never a victim, right? Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be a victim and stopping yourself from being a victim. That's number one, right? I'm going to just hit it with the logic. I don't want to get too much in depth, but there's nothing wrong with being a victim. Be a man. This is how you get shit done, bro. This is how you get things done. This is how you do things. This is how you create history. Men being masculine is the reason why I have this nice, comfortable house to live in. It's the reason why I am born. My grandparents were some alpha males. My grandfather specifically, right? And then violence. This one makes sense, right? It's the one that makes sense. But here's the thing, right? Here's this example I gave my friend. I can go and kill somebody, right? But if you take that outside of its context, right? I can kill somebody. If you take it outside of the context and you isolate it by itself, right? You isolate my action of killing, you can label it toxic masculinity, right? And here's the thing. Aggression, things like aggression and violence are specifically, things like aggression and violence are only one component of masculinity. So you can take that action, right, of violence and isolate it by itself, and obviously without any context, it's a pretty bad thing. Killing somebody, it's never really a good thing. But if you put it into the context of the situation, right? I could have been killing somebody to protect. I could have been killing someone to protect. Maybe it's someone trying to break into my house and I have to protect the family. Maybe this person killed my mother. Whatever the situation you want to add to it, right? It will justify the act of violence, right? And really, to be masculine as well, one of the attributes, right, of components of masculinity is protecting. Violence protects. And so here's another dimension where it brings another thing about it, right? That other dimension, that other points of view of looking at toxic masculinity. Certain things that can be good for you can also be bad for you. For example, water is good for you. It's something that you need to survive, right? Something that you need to survive. However, water can also kill you. You can drown because of water. You know what I mean? If you are scuba diving, you're underwater too deep, the water pressure can, you know what I'm saying? It could kill you. It could crush you. So the same thing can be said for masculinity. So in a good example for this, if you are in a war, if you're in competition, if you are losing, this is a case where masculinity is bad for you, but it's a paradox at the same time, because the reason why this person's masculinity is bad for you is because of your lack of masculinity, your lack of ability to be able to act masculine enough to protect yourself from another person's masculinity. So there's different dimensions to it. And then there's suppressed emotions, right? And this is a different way, this is an easy way to basically describe this, right? Showing your emotions doesn't always involve crying. You don't have to humiliate yourself. You know what I mean? Now, most people might agree. I think it's way more better and easier. It's more smarter if instead of crying in front of everybody about my problems, I can go express my problems or express my emotions through art. I'd much rather go into a big open field, beautiful field, and paint. And I'm not even just saying this to some bullshit. Like, this is literally how in history people have express their emotions instead of just suppressing them. You know what I mean? I'm hitting the punching bag. You know what I'm saying? But and also another thing too that's like about suppressing emotion that makes it relevant to the whole masculine thing is discipline. You know what I'm saying? Doing the hard work even though you don't feel like I'm not in the mood to do something, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of being a hypocrite because today I don't really know if I'm going to go to the gym yet. I'm really supposed to be going to the gym today. I've been going to the gym all week, but today I don't really know if I'm, you know what I'm saying? I decided I might stay here and do more work on the business, on the YouTube channel. And so I'm here. I might still go to the gym later, you know what I mean? But all the time you have to, this is just me, it's an example of me being a hypocrite, right? Because we're humans, but at the same time, I'm proving the point. Suppressing your emotions is not just because I want to be a man, but it's because you need to have discipline and get things done, you know? We all struggle with this, but it is something that is needed. Initiations, I don't really think that's really anything negative. Like tribal initiations, my dad, every single time I talk with him, he talks about how I'm gonna get initiated into the tribe when we go to Africa and see, our people. You know what I mean? So initiation, it really doesn't really mean anything. I don't think that's toxic because, it's sort of a way that it's like it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like getting that certificate. It's like getting certified to join a brotherhood. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's really bad. And then emasculation, I don't really know what they mean by that. So it can mean 10,000 different things. God knows what. You know what I mean? So this is basically my take. Look, when you take these things out of the context of everything that I just described, right? You can then label it toxic, like never be a victim. Well, never be a victim. Obviously, you don't want to be a victim. Masculinity protects you from being a victim. Never being a victim. Violence stops you from never being a victim. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, obviously, if you use your common sense, I'm not trying to tell you to go kill people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to defend it. Being able to get violent will prevent you from being a victim. And it will help you be a man. You get what I'm saying? That's what it really is. It's providing. You know what I'm saying? It's learning how to do these certain things. You know what I mean? Initiation. You know what I mean? Can also help you stop you from being a victim. Why? Because you have brothers, you have people you can call on, etc. You know what I mean? Suppressed emotions. That can help stop you from being a victim. Why? Because you have discipline. Suppressed emotions isn't just about, I don't want to open about mental health. Mental health is very important, right? Masculinity is not about ignoring your mental health. It's about being disciplined and being stoic and doing the work that you don't feel like doing because the purpose of it is much greater. That's what it really is. You know what I mean? So yeah. And basically, now I'm not gonna really go into feminism and that's like toxic femininity because that's not even really a coined word. You never heard anybody say that. But it's the same thing. Like when a guy says that since this person acted in his emotions, he acted violent in his emotions. You know what I'm saying? He's feminine for that. But you can't disrespect femininity like that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's just one component of being feminine and you're isolating it from the greater, you know what I'm saying? The greater overall context around it, what it is to be feminine, because that also has multiple attributes. And feminism, or not feminism, the movement that's going on today, radical feminism, I'm talking about like women being feminine, right? That's not bad. These are good traits. You get what I'm saying? Acting your emotions is part of the feminine thing. It's one attribute about it. It's the same thing with violence, right? If a woman acts violent, are you going to automatically assume that she's masculine? No. You know what I mean? She can try to act like it, but that's just one attribute. You know what I'm saying? That's just one attribute. You know what I'm saying? You got to have it collectively. You know what I mean? You look at it collectively across, you got to be, you know what I'm saying? That's masculine. If you look at masculinity, you look at violence with this, you have like being feminine and being masculine, being human, just, you know, it's like all about being, how do I say this, having multiple dimensions, different levels. You know what I mean? That's what it really is. That's how at least I would interpret it. So if you guys have any interesting things you want to say about whatever I said in this video, leave it in the comment section. If you want to talk about this stuff with me, you can definitely hit me up on my Instagram, or you can join my Discord server, the New Sudan, and you can talk specific about this in the self-improvement chat. With that being said, guys, you like the video. If you liked it, share this video with people, whoever, you know, with your local feminists, your local red pill dude, you know what I'm saying, your local Andrew Tate guy, and yeah, man. Like I feel like these are good takes. So you know what I'm saying, these are good takes. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, y'all have a good one, bro.